This video was filmed at the tail end of some really gnarly weather. We're talking raining for days on end, rough out at sea for about a week at this point, and I wasn't able to get out for a dive in the open ocean. So instead opted for one in the harbour. And I was absolutely blown away by both the water clarity and some of the things I saw this day. So stick around, I think you'll like this one. In all the time I've been diving, the only seahorses I've ever seen have been ones in Calicoutons. So needless to say, I was pretty amazed to see one just sitting on the bottom in about 2 meters of water on flat sand. Pretty remarkable. I thought it was a brittle star at first, I just really wasn't expecting to run into one, but when I kind of keyed into what it was, I got pretty excited. So hung around with him for a bit, didn't bother him too much, and then continued on my way. But really cool encounter. First time seeing one of these, hopefully not the last. Now I kind of know what I'm looking for. And talked to an old salt in the area today actually. He reckons quite a few actually hang out in the harbour. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of them. Before you make a dive, you should always have a plan. You should know what you're going to do, more or less, before you hit the bottom. And by hitting the bottom, I mean really getting down to the bottom. You're not hovering 2-3 feet off the top, wasting all your oxygen, scaring away all the fish. You're getting right down, you're putting yourself between rocks, you're getting low down, you're making yourself small so fish want to approach you. Plan your dives around what the bottom structure is like. Here we have a nice school of Aurora coming in to check me out. At this point, I'm trying to stay nice, calm, and relaxed because I know often there's trevally in this area, and that's my plan for today. Hopefully shoot a trevally if things go well. If not, I'll just sit back, watch these Corey, have a good time regardless. Alright, now we're in business. Nice big school of decent sized trevally. I can see them from the surface, but I make a dive straight down to the bottom, find some nice terrain. I'm going to crawl my way over to this ledge where I can look over the front of it. This is pre-planned out, I don't just get to the bottom and try to wing it. It really helps if you have a plan before you dive down. So I've got myself tucked out behind and watching these trevallies. I'm going to try to pick out quite a nice one, see what I can pull out of here, but it's not going to be easy for me. These fish are just so sensitive and intuitive, and every time you try to extend on them, they're not going to be in front of your gun. They're really smart fish, these ones. So I've been living in the harbour probably all their lives, and I've got pretty keyed in. I could have shot one of these smaller ones, but there are a couple nice models that I was sticking out for, but didn't actually get an opportunity on. When you're diving spots like this, you really don't get that many chances. It's a really small area. So those fish, once they're gone, they're not going to be around anymore. They're going to head off, find another channel, somewhere else to hang. But the Porori are a lot more chilled out than trevally. With trevally, you get about 1-2 dives on them, then they're buggered off. You're never going to see them again. Porori will stick around a bit longer usually. But still at this spot, once you've been diving it for too long, all the fish really do clear out of there, except for things like spotties such as these ones. They'll stick around regardless because they know people aren't hunting them. I think many people are out there targeting spotties. Luckily for me, I found some rock structure that was holding a lot of eels, some of them even borderline sticking out, so I had to grab at this one. But man, they are hard to grab. They're just like pretty much all muscle. They're like an octopus in that regard, and like super slimy, slippery. Like you can't get a hand on them. You can get a hand on them, but they're gonna slip out. They're really not easy to hold on to. So I had another crack here, try to grab by the tail, but obviously that's not gonna work out. I make a dive down, see this eel sticking its head out. I think, alright, now's my chance. I grab my spear gun to stay the right, use the shaft, give him a little tap from behind, trying to get him out of there. And to my surprise, he heads straight out towards the sand. And the chase is on. I start heading after him. I'm waiting for he's a little bit calmer, hopefully try diving him when he's not like swimming too erratically so I can get a shot in. Try and make a dive here, but he really picks it up again. Heads off in a short burst, I take a shot. Aim pretty high. Just nick him really, it's only just holding him there. It's really not a good shot. And I can tell this straight away. So I'm just going to try to play it out pretty easily. I'm not just going to yank him up to the surface. I've got to play this out or this is just going to rip, no worries. Eels are crazy strong. Look at the way it's twisted. Like seriously, these things are crazy. So here I grab him, manage to get him up to the surface where I try my best to subdue him. But at this point he's just swimming between my hands basically. These things are so slippery, so strong, so hard to grab. Crazy animals, like unreal. The amount of power and like slipperiness that these things possess. Eventually, the eel managed to maneuver its way out of my hands, get enough leverage off my body to actually break free of the mono and swim back down towards the bottom. Alright, the chase is back on. I've got to retrieve my spear gun shaft. I don't have time to reload. I've got to swim after this eel straight away. I'm going to lose him. I'm never going to see him again. So I get the shaft in my hand and start swimming towards him. He's making his way back towards the reef structure. So I'm planning on intercepting him before he manages to get underneath the rock. I can see here he's getting really close. I know now I've got to make a dive. I make a dive, intercept him before I get under a rock. He kind of swerves away, swerves behind, goes up here, about to do something, and had to smash him in the head with the spear. Get a hand on him, try to subdue him again, but it's really not easy. I'm like having to hold on my hardest. I know this isn't probably going to work out. Really tense situation. I was thinking like, dude, if I lose this eel, I'm going to feel so bad. I shot him, stabbed him in the head. If I lose him, I'm going to feel like an absolute dick. And to my astonishment, he manages to make it out again and goes by this rock. So I think, fuck it, man. I don't even have time to grab the shaft this time. I got my knife in my hand. I have to make something happen and quick, or I'm going to lose this eel. So I get down, manage to poke his head out, stab hammer fist with a knife into the middle of the eel. Managed to get him. So the way I killed him really was like pretty gnarly. I had to like cut his stomach open. I just couldn't get the knife into his head. It was really pretty vicious. The eel ended up going 80 centimeters long. So I don't know, pretty good size for an eel, I guess. There were some bigger ones there, but fuck it, man. This one's like plenty big enough. That's like legal kingfish. Anyway, I saw some other cool stuff as well. This was a huge egret. This is probably like one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. The video doesn't really do it justice, but man, it was like the size of like a normal short-tail stingray, but it was an egret, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, weather, beautiful. Nice, cloudy, on and off rain, spectacular diving weather. So getting back, had to walk over a shell bank. Couldn't be bothered taking my flippers off, so I'm just kind of walking backwards until I can turn forward and just kind of fall into the water again. Obviously, ended up getting like quite a few shells in my flippers. Not ideal. Made the swim back pretty uncomfortable and decided, oh, you gotta like take them off, get the shells out of there. Might as well do it. Save a bit of hassle. And yeah, it's all pretty straightforward after that. Got back to the wharf, saw another cool eagle ray. Swimming around, just seeing if there's anything about. It's pretty quiet on the fish front here, but did manage to find a fishing rod, surprisingly. Well, not too surprising actually. I have found fishing rods here before. It's a pretty popular fishing wharf. A lot of amateur fishermen go down, lose their gear to big fish, and hey, this is probably one of them. Pretty interesting rod. I took this into the rod repairman we have at work here, and he told me the rod would be at least 50 years old. The rod and reel. Real old school type stuff, so feel bad for the old bugger that lost it, but it's going to be up on my wall now, a bit of a relic, so that's pretty cool. This next clip made me pretty sad, pretty mad, pretty disappointed all around. There were a bunch of fish dumped at the wharf, really terrible filleting job on them. No other bits said the fillets taken, even at that, just a real shit filleting job, basically leaving at least half the fish. There's a big difference between gutting your kahawai at the wharf and coming down and just dumping a shitload of fish in the water. Especially this pink mountain. There's currently a rahui, which is a voluntary no take on these fish, but regardless, there's one here. Filleted poorly, nothing taken except the fillets, real disappointment. There's so much meat on fish you can eat besides the fillets. Here we've got the frame of probably a 15 kilo kingfish. So we've got the head, wings, spine, just so much meat on there that went to waste. It didn't have to. Really sad to see. Anyway, regardless, it was a great dive. Hope you enjoyed. I had a good time out there. It's pretty amazing some of the stuff you can see close to home if you just get out there and have a look. This episode's sustainability message is utilize more of the fish that you kill. Try the head, the wings, the tail, the frame. There's a lot of flavour and a lot of missed opportunity when you throw them out.